Hello, welcome to Nattys Crafts. I'm Natalie. I always do all the crafting, and today we're going to make a centerpiece for the kitchen table, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then also I made something else with my 3D printer, so I want to show you that because it's very helpful in the craft room. So I'm going to show you that as well. So give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. So let's go ahead and go take a look. So this is going to be super quick. We're just going to adjust this metal bucket a little bit. And this bucket we bought for the ashes, I guess, from the barbecue. I don't know why he got so many, but he did, and so we had extras, and so I'm going to decorate this one and put a plant in it. So all I'm going to do to decorate it is just make it look a little worn, a little rusted or used, basically. I'm not into the whole farmhouse thing or anything like that, but I don't want this shiny metal bucket to hold my plant. So I'm just going to rusty it up just a touch. And I'm just using some brown paint. I mixed it with water and shouldn't have. I should have just used the paint directly because it made it a little bit more difficult. And so I had to go over it more than once. I put more than one layer. You're only seeing me do one layer, but I did have to go back and do more than one layer to get the color or the effect that I wanted. And then all I'm going to do is put something in the bottom of the bucket. First I put rocks. I'm not sure why I didn't record that, but then I'm going to put this styrofoam on top of the rocks. And so you'll see I'm just going to cut the bottom of the bucket out on this piece of styrofoam. And then just put it in there, make sure it fits. And then again, I did put rocks underneath that piece of styrofoam. And then I'm just going to place the plant on top of all of that. What I want is I want a little bit of drainage, but I don't want the soil to be sitting in on the rocks. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. I'm not a gardener. And then I'm just going to kind of adjust the plants a little bit. They were sticking up so nice and happy, and now I've destroyed them. Hopefully they stay alive. But I'm just going to give them a bunch of water. And then I am going to put the handle of the bucket up, and then I'm going to end up attaching the limbs of the plant to the handle of the bucket. So you can see it here where the handle is sticking up and all of the flowers are standing up so cute. And it's because I have these little plant holders that hold them up. So it worked out really nice and it looks really pretty, and hopefully they live. That's the main thing. And then I made this little spray can holder on my 3D printer because I have too much spray paint and it's in the way. So I want it up on the wall and out of my way. So each one of these will fit 3 cans. So I was just making sure everything fit right and was going to hold right and all of that. And I'm just going to make I'm going to line this up so that I know where to put the holes on the wall. So I'm just going to use some painter's tape, tape it on the back of the piece that's going to go on the wall. And then I'm going to just use my Sharpie and make some marks so that I know where the hole needs to go on the wall. That was a lot of words, but hopefully looking at it makes more sense. And then I'm just going to go over to the wall. Now this is kind of in the corner of my craft room, a little bit behind my dream box, which is fine because I do not need to see my spray paint in any manner, only when I need to go grab it. So I was trying to figure out how to get this level. So I got my little level out, and then I put the piece of tape on the back of the level and then just set the level up against the wall. And then of course just verified that it was in fact level. And then I'm just going to use my drill with a screw and just drill in 2 screws. That is, of course, only if you know how to use a drill and screws, which I figured out. And I'm just leaving a little bit of a gap between the wall and the screw, and that little gap is going to be enough for the spray can holder to grab onto the screw. And I'll show you that in a second too. But once we've got the screws in, we know it's measured properly because of that tape. So we just pull that tape off, and then we just got to figure out how deep to make those screws. I want it to be snug. I don't want it to be loose in any way. So I had to do this just a couple times just to make sure it was tight enough. Almost, not quite. There we go, perfect. And then these 3 spray cans fit. And this is just perfect, and I love it, and it's great. It gets all this junk out of my dream box and up on the wall out of the way where I don't have to look at it. It's fabulous, I love it. I'm gonna make more of these spray paint can holders. I thank you so much for stopping by Nattys Crafts today. I sure hope that you could go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. And remember to always appreciate today, as tomorrow is never promised. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great one.